Hello, Tracy, David, DEs, and others. My name is Joe Thompson, and I'm the Regional Vice President for the Pennsylvania Regional Office, which handles the states of Pennsylvania and Delaware. There's also a small office in Pittsburgh that we handle out of here. After a short stint on Wall Street working for Payne Weber, I called it the House of Payne, worked there for about a year. I migrated over to the insurance industry in 1988, which gives me plus 25 years in the insurance industry. My first insurance job was working for Guardian Royal Exchange, an English firm, where I went into underwriting. I eventually became the middle market and small commercial underwriting manager for the states of New Jersey and Pennsylvania. From there, I took a job with St. Paul in the sales and underwriting team for the states of New Jersey and Delaware, where I was a manager there. I did that for about a year, and then a great opportunity came up to run the Northeast Division for St. Paul Small Commercial. So we relocated the family down to Baltimore, Maryland, where I was for about 22 months. From there, a job opened up, the RVP job in the state of New Jersey for St. Paul. They had a lot of issues, a lot of book issues, a lot of profit issues up there, as well as talent issues. Had to make some quick decisions and get that book turned around quick while working with some of the biggest brokers and agents in New Jersey to do that. After several years of repositioning the book with some of the largest producers, as I said, we finished actually in the top 3 offices in the country in my last 2 years there in what we call the Controllable Income Report, which is very similar to the COG and the income statements and how we manage business here. So I think that work probably helped me address some of the Pennsylvania work that had to be done when moving up here to take this job. Getting back to St. Paul, after the Evil Empire purchased us in 2003, I stayed with St. Paul Travelers for a brief period of time, and then I decided to go over and be the ARVP for the Hartford Regional Office, working with Paul Vader and the team. I did that for about 9 months, and a middle market director position opened up down in the southeast, down in the Charlotte Center. I took that. I was there for about 9 months, handling the central states and the southern states, and thank goodness the RVP job opened up, which I eventually won. So I was there as the Charlotte RVP for about 4.5 years, and then wanted to get the family back home to the tri-state area, and luckily the Pennsylvania RVP leadership job opened up, and I was successful in winning that job, and that captures my insurance industry experience. Thank you. So when I wake up in the morning and I start thinking about work, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Well, if you asked me this question 3.5 years ago, it would have been a completely different answer. But I do think about how far we've come in PA, the transformation of the office, and what additional areas can we push to improve from the talent pipeline, and most importantly, improving our profit. Given the staff still remains on the junior side in Pennsylvania, how do we improve their skill sets? How do we get them to where they want to be? How do we push them into untested areas? How do we support them in their new business efforts, their agency engagement, some of the tougher renewals, some of the larger renewals? How do we create more, and David knows this term, more Loises in the talent pool? A Lois is defined as a person that works for a company that's been in the insurance business for a while, that has credibility. It is a consistent factor in the insurance business where agents rely on and they go to. How do we create more of those? You know, one wise man told me years ago, you're only going to go as far as your staff's going to get you, and I firmly believe that. So how do we create that trust factor, both trust in me and the management team, and me having the ability to trust in the talent that we have here at the Hartford? This is one of the most exciting times to be at the Hartford because we continue to change our culture for the better here. We have the leaders in place to get us to top tier company status in short order, and we're focused on the appropriate areas such as employee engagement, talent, and profit. And the good thing about that is that everybody's looking at the same information. There's consistency around reports and monitoring from underwriting up to the top. And that's where I feel it's so important. It's the first time since I've been here where there's a lot of that consistency. If I could fix one big people problem, what would it yield to the business? How would we go about to fix it? In the past, and I've been here 10 years, we did a lot of training younger staff and more junior staff and moving them all around the country. And the millennials, they want to be home where they're familiar. They want to be in the territory that they're familiar with. So I think we've done a better job at that over the past 5 years. But I think we also have to employ strategies to identify known quantities and talented, seasoned people in each of the territories, and have a strategy around bringing them, improving the relationship with them, and bringing them over to the Hartford. And I think part of this gets to the RVPs and some of the other leaderships. They need to own their territory, whether it be going on boards or getting in the community. For example, I'm on the Pennsylvania Compensation Rating Bureau for the state of PA. I'm also on the St. Joe's University board where a lot of the agents are. I'm getting some good leads and some talent leads from a lot of these top brokers in the state of Pennsylvania. So I think we need to employ strategies around that. The most famous person I admire that has a passion is my father. I know it's probably not the answer you want to hear, but he instilled in me a strong work ethic, a compassion for people and empathy, how to make tough decisions, whether it affected a person negatively or positively. He taught me how to embrace the tough decisions and how to gain support from the people you work for. And how I define the people that I work for is my staff and my boss in my company. My philosophy on leadership is simple. Create a vision on how to get to where you want to be. Push the team, push yourself into untested areas to make ourselves better as a team. Show them how they will get there in their performance and how they can achieve their performance and how it affects the overall group plan. And one person told me that you're only going to go as far as your staff takes you. And I know I mentioned that previous, but I've lived by that. Staff is so important. And lastly, be prepared to change your plans at any time based on the changing environment in agency relationships, in your staff, in the insurance environment, what we're going through right now. You always have to be prepared because it's changing. You have to build flexibility into your plans. And I'll get to that in a second. My dream job at the Hartford would be to be a DE in several other territories, such as New Jersey. I think everybody knows that by what's behind me. Pennsylvania, Baltimore, Charlotte, those areas interest me. But the DE job interests me a lot. Thank you.